Pinterest. And I use Pinterest just because, well, I'm on it a lot, and I can use it on my phone. I can use it on my computer, on my iPad, whatever. What Tara's going to show us is going to be pretty phenomenal, though, so I might start changing it up a little bit. But I wanted to give you some tips for Pinterest, because I don't know if you're like me, if it's anything like social media, it could take all my time. I could and not get any of my accomplishments done. If I'm going there to find recipes, I could get very sidetracked and do other things. So my goal for you is, however you organize, you need to be able to find the meals that you've chosen for that particular week as soon as possible. You need to be able to find those recipes quickly, whether you're at the grocery store and you need to see something, or you're getting everything ready for the week and meal prepping. So the first advice I have for you is, don't look at your feed. So if you know Pinterest, if you click out of here, you can look at your feed. Will just give you all kinds of stuff, from great ways to organize your cupboards, which is not a bad thing, but it will really, really take a bunch of your time. So what I do, so if you go to your home feed, you'll see here, there is just a bunch of stuff that has come up that I may or may not have any interest in, and it will take my attention. So the first thing I always do is I click on my own home page, and that's where I have folders created. And so I also encourage you to create folders and think about how the easiest way to organize for you. So what I recommend is that you're going to have what I call the dump folder. So you might have a favorite recipes folder, where anytime you see something that you're like, ooh, I want to look into that more, I want to see that recipe a little bit more, throw it in your favorite recipes. Or if you have different types of eating, low carb or paleo or Whole30, and you're seeing recipes for that, and you want to plug those into just a general Whole30 page, or a 21-day fix. If you're doing a 21-day fix, you want to throw any recipes that you see that you might be interested in into that 21-day fix folder. And you will see I have all of those. I have a 21-day fix. I have Whole30. I have some that I was actually tried this as an experiment to organize by meal groups, and I don't recommend it. It takes a lot more time, and because of this, Pinterest has a really good search bar. It's just not necessary, because you can find anything you want in your own pins or in the general pins. If you're not familiar with Pinterest, it's like a virtual bulletin board. So I recommend the folders, a dump folder like favorite recipes, but then you want to create what I would call the April folder. So I just finished doing a Whole30, and I had Whole30 2016. And in this folder, I can tell you I made all of these recipes except for 2, because I knew that was going to be my month. And so I knew this was the only folder I needed to go back to on a regular basis to make the meals that I needed to make. So I recommend you create an April folder, or if you want to even break it down into weeks, you could go for it. But it was really easy when I wanted to take my month into weeks. I would just open this folder and be like, yep, we're going to have this on this night. And I just plugged them all into my menus. At any time, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat box. The other thing I recommend is once you have that dump folder, it is very easy then when you do have more time to go back and look at the ingredients, you can go through the dump folder where you have a bunch of recipes, and then you pull them out for your monthly, what you're looking at monthly or for that week. And then you can start really looking at the ingredients. If you're just getting into the cooking thing and you see ingredients and you're not quite sure what they are, I would leave that in the dump folder and not bring that out into your first April folder. If it's one that has a bunch of spices that you don't have in your cabinet, you want to venture out and get them, I'm not going to discourage that, because you will find you might have some fun with it, but it also becomes tedious if you feel like you're spending too much money on these spices or whatever. So if that's the case and you want to, once a week you want to try a new recipe, and build up your spice cabinet or build up some of your pantry staples, go for it. But I would just keep it so that you're not buying like 6 new things for a recipe, because you may not even know if you like that spice. So the other thing I always do is you then can search. So if you remember, I want to have prosciutto wrapped asparagus. I made that just the other day. Hey, Tara's writing on my screen. And I can click on it, and now this is looking at prosciutto wrapped asparagus and all the pins in the world. But I want to find the one that I pinned because I already did the work. I've already pinned that somewhere. So then I click on my pins. Oh, and of course that one's not going to come up. And I know it's in there. It's just, it must not be called that. So let's see if I search for Dump Ranch. I love Dump Ranch. And I click on your pins. I have 2 things where I know that I actually mix a little bit between those 2 recipes to create my own ranch dressing. So you can search right to your pins. So this search bar is your friend, and I would use it religiously. The other thing you can use the search bar for is rather than looking at your feed, like I said, don't get caught up in this feed. Whatever kind of food plan you're following, if you're doing paleo, you can click on paleo recipes, and then it will bring up, now I'm right in my pins, but if you really want to find a bunch of paleo recipes, click on all pins. And these are things that other people have pinned, which means they've tried them. I recommend, if you're opening it and checking it out, read the comments, because the comments of people posting saying, yes, I made this and it was awesome, or I didn't, may sway you one way or the other, because chocolate chip zucchini bread is a little interesting. But that would be, this is a way to kind of get some quick and easy recipes based on your search. The other thing you can do is, if you know that you have a pork roast in your freezer that's been there for a while, or also look at the sales. If you saw that, you know, grass-fed beef is on sale at Costco for a huge bin of it, you can search different recipes. So if you want to say, you know, paleo, and I'm stuck on that one, using that as example, paleo pork roast, there is always something in there. So then you already have the ingredients, and then you can find recipes that go towards that. Or if there's something that you know your family really likes, a certain meat or a certain vegetable, I struggle with the vegetable sides quite a bit. So I will use this, and I will do something as simple as, say, vegetable sides, if I can spell. Here, or you can do any of this kind of stuff. So if you just clicked in vegetable sides, or if you put in like butternut squash, you can come up, and there's all the stuff that you can already use. So if you know something's on sale, that's also what I would recommend doing, and work through here. The other piece of advice I can give you is, the biggest thing also is, if you search something like 21-day fix recipes, and you see this right here, this looks amazing, right? 21-day fix crockpot recipes. Or here's another one, 100 plus recipes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and all that. If you are gonna pin this, pin as it is, because you wanna check it out later, put it in your bulk folder. Because the hardest thing to do is, when you actually open this pin, you're gonna see that they've posted a lot of different recipes, which is fantastic if they've done the work for you. So thank you, Carrie L. Blog. This is fantastic. You've done all the work for me. But I'm never going to remember where that crockpot lasagna recipe was. When I finally want to actually go cook that, was it in the crockpot recipes? Was it in 121-day fix recipes? I'm not going to know. So my recommendation would be that you actually click on that, and then you find the actual, that will take you to the actual recipe, and you pin from there. When you're making your April calendar or your weekly, always pin from there. Those group pins are great for the bulk folder, but after that, it becomes very difficult to find things. All right. I think, and the other recommendation I'd have, if you see that you are finding a lot of recipes from this particular website. Like you really, there's one like My Natural Family comes up all the time, and they do a lot of Whole30 compliant recipes and clean eating recipes. And so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to start following that person so that I can see more of them, and then actually subscribe to their website. And I get an email once a week with her recipes, the new recipes she's posted. So that makes it, and then I can open that email and I can pin them directly to Pinterest from there. So it's nice. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't even have to search Pinterest today. She sent me 3 good recipes, and I'm going to give those a try. And it's someone who I've done her recipes before, so I'm pretty confident that we're going to like them as a family. So, all right. Take a second here. Anyone have any questions before I stop sharing Pinterest and we move on to pepperplate? Was that helpful?
Yes.
It was
all
very
right.
useful.
So, and if you have questions as you're going through it, please go ahead and just message me or reach out on the actual Facebook board. And, you know, we can help any of those. And if I as I'm pinning some stuff, because I do this all the time, I will also let you guys know if there's certain people that I think you should follow if you're interested, and we'll go from there. All right, Tara, you're up.
All right, I'm going to share my screen now. This is actually my phone. I am going to show you I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest.
It worked this morning. It'll work.
This is the first time I've shared my phone on hold. Amazing. I did it. Okay. So this is pepperplate on the phone. So pepperplate, pepperplate, is an app that can be done, pushing stuff, that can be done obviously on your phone as an app, but it's also a website. So if you're on a computer, you can also access it that way. I'm going to show you the app because that's what I use the most. The computer is just a teensy bit different, but if you are familiar with the app, you'll be fine, you know, converting that over to your computer. So, hold on 1 second, I'm going to do some things. Okay. So the first thing is I'll show you to download the app at the App Store. Very easy. Search, type in pepperplate, try and spell it correctly, and there you go. It's right there. So that'll at least give you a visual so that when you go to do this, you're like, I remember, black and white, perfect, that's it. So then you would open it, I would open it, or you would download it.
It's free, right, Tara?
It's free, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go back in there so you can see. Okay, so at the top, obviously you can see we are in the recipes area. If you click on these 3 buttons to the left, the 3, like the equal sign plus 1, you can see that pepperplate has access to recipes, menus, a planner, and a shopping list. So the great thing is once you add recipes into pepperplate, you then just add them to your planner and add them to your shopping list, and everything is created for you. So we love it. Saves time and energy. Most important thing, pepperplate is, has an association with several, I want to say like 50 different websites for recipes, like allrecipes.com, myrecipes.com, Cooking Light, Skinny Taste is a few that I can think of off the top of my head. So what's going to happen is when you go to those websites, it's going to auto-populate everything you need into pepperplate. The ingredients, the instructions, how much time it takes, a picture. It's amazing. So the way that we can do that easily, though, is to download the pepperplate bookmarklet. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick, too. So I'm going to get out of here, go to Safari, and I'm just going to go to like myrecipes.com. And garlic chicken pizza, here we come. Okay, so at the bottom, I feel like I should be able, there we go. At the bottom, you know, your little share button down here, you're gonna click on share. And then in this row here, you're gonna scroll all the way to the right. So I already have pepperplate downloaded, but you're going to click on more in order to download it. And then this is going to come up, and this is basically loading that middle menu there. And you're gonna go down to pepperplate and turn this on to save recipe. So what's gonna happen is this pepperplate is going to be loaded here. And so you're gonna go, here's your garlic chicken pizza. I'm a little nervous, here I come. Oh, this isn't gonna work because it's a video. Hold on, what do you do? Go back. Okay, gross. I would never make this, but we're gonna go into chicken panini with fig jam. What?
It might be good, you know.
I'm
venture out there, Tara. Venture.
You know, another reason I have issues with cooking and everything is I'm very picky eater. I am your 3-year-old that you want to strangle every night because they won't eat anything. That's me. Okay.
It looks good.
So here's your chicken panini with fig jam. All I have to do is click on my share button at the bottom. Oh geez, cancel. And scroll to the right and hit save recipe. And it's importing this recipe into pepperplate. Click done. And I'm gonna go back to my pepperplate. Whoops, and see how it came up right there? Fig panini, or chicken panini with fig jam. And I'm gonna click into that. And it didn't work. And it didn't load anything. I promise this works. What's going to happen is, see how it did load your serving size, it did load the URL, it did load the source. Then if you see these 3 buttons down here, if you scroll to the right, you get the ingredients. If you scroll to the right again, you get instructions. Usually those are loaded. So that's what that bookmarklet does for you. It populates all of those areas so that you don't have to. Okay, I promise it works. Didn't work for that one, but I promise it does. So here's one that sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so here's one I did earlier this morning, these breakfast enchiladas. Yes, please. This is been auto-populated, so I did not type these in. The ingredients and the instructions come onto this page here. If I go to the pencil, that's my edit. And what I want to bring to your attention is right here, this categories. So these are categories you create. So I'll show you my categories. I do them as like, I don't know how my mind thinks. So you're going to have to do it how your mind thinks. So when I'm going to look for a recipe, if I want to make Mexican, I click in my Mexican recipe and I can sort by that kind of recipe. So what you're doing with these categories is you're going to put all of these recipes into categories. So this one is obviously going to be breakfast. It's going to be Mexican because it's enchiladas. What else? That's probably it. Okay. But if you want to add, so you can see here, I have apps for like, if I'm going to a party or I'm having a party, I have breakfast, I have chicken, desserts, crock pot. So some of my recipes will go into, different categories. And then at the top, if you realize like, oh, this fits into nothing, you can add a new category. Very, very easy. So then when I'm going to cancel out of this, back into my recipes. When I have chicken that's defrosted and I'm like, oh, I need a really, really easy chicken recipe, I go up to my sort. Just kidding. I go up to my filter and I'm going to sort by categories. So then I can go down here and say, oh, chicken in my refrigerator. Where are all my chicken recipes? And these are all my chicken recipes. Pretty cool, huh? So if you want a crock pot recipe because you have 0 time. If you want a salad because you're going to a picnic and you said you'd bring a salad, you can do that. If you want a different sauce because you've used the same sauce 50 times for your chicken and you want to try a different one, go to a sauce one. That's how I roll. That's that. So that's categories. And then from here, okay. So if you are going to a so Iowa Girl Eats is one of my favorite websites for recipes, and she is not affiliated with pepperplate. So what you need to do is kind of cut and paste the information from the website into pepperplate. And the way you do that is I'm going to get out of here and go to Iowa Girl Eats. Okay, yes, I definitely want to make this. Tortilla crusted chicken sounds amazing. So what I do, and this is, close your eyes for a second because this is really going to give you a headache. Okay, but down here I have the ingredients. So I'm going to copy all these ingredients. Come on. Copy, go back to my pepper plate. Create a recipe with this addition sign up here. Then I'm going to scroll over to ingredients, paste, easy peasies. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my instructions and paste them there. So all I'm doing is scrolling on this 3 dots back here, going back and forth between instructions, ingredients, and then my info. So I'm going to add this to one of my categories, which is going to be, I'm going to add it to chicken. I'm going to add it to Mexican. And I'm going to add it to sauce because I feel like there was a sauce on top of it that might be new and different that I haven't made before. Done. Then I just need to title it Tortilla Crusted Chicken. And
4
save.
minutes, Sarah.
Save. Done. There it is up top. Click into it. There's your ingredients. And then the instructions will be at the bottom if I added them. So that's it. That is adding your recipes. So from there, I'm going to click on this over here and we're going to go over to Planner. So now I've got my days of the week. I've already populated some of these to make it easy. Believe me, I do not make pancakes on a Tuesday morning. We don't have time for that. But this is how you do it. You just go in. Hold on one second. I'm going to find one that's open. Okay. So I'm going to add up here at the top, add. I want to make chicken. So I'm going to just type in chicken. Oh, definitely want to make that yummy chicken panini.
With the fig sauce.
With the fig sauce. Monday, midday, morning, lunch, evening. I'm going to make it in the evening. Save. That's how I added it. So I've added all of these. Here's Thursday. Here's Friday. This is my whole entire week. Now from here, the way I would do it is I would wait until I had planned my entire week and really have it set in my head before I start adding those recipes to my shopping list because things change on me so quickly. So the way you add it to your the way you add these to your shopping list is if I have breakfast potatoes on Friday, it says down here, move your items. You can move it to a different day should you be really unorganized like I am, or you can view your recipe. So this is my made up recipe of what I make for my breakfast potatoes. But I populate it in here so it adds it to my shopping list and it adds it to my meal planner. So I really have an idea of what I'm making. I'm going to go up here to this share box and you can add it to your shopping list. You can email the recipe to someone. You can print the recipe. You can cook now and it's going to keep that on your page. so that you are not flipping back and forth. So I'm adding it to my shopping list, and it's going to
less than a minute.
It's going to ask you if you want to go up or down. Save. And then that's my shopping list. So I have all of these items in my shopping list. And as you see here, they are by category of the grocery store. And as I'm grocery shopping, I'm like, oh, I got those eggs, and it goes away. Oh, I got my sausage, and it goes away. So this is your shopping list from here. Easy peasies. So you do everything. You add recipes, you do your planning, and you do your shopping list all in one little app. Awesome. All right, so our Zoom call is going to kick us out in about 2 seconds. So
anyone have any questions?
Anyone have questions?
No, this is Cindy. This is really helpful.
Oh, good.
Good.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
I'm going to try this pepper plate myself,
Me
Cindy.
too.
I think it's
Yeah.
because I can still search on Pinterest and then add it to pepper plate, and the shopping list thing is amazing.
I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you can see here, like if you're like potatoes you already have, oh, delete, I already have potatoes. Oh, I don't need to get flour, I have a huge thing of that, delete. So you can really be interactive with it too. It's not like you have this list that you're like, just kidding, I don't need half of that stuff. So that's it. So this is recorded, so we will put this in the group so you can, kind of watch it as you're creating your pepper plate also, or your Pinterest list. All right, thanks guys. I'm excited. This is going to be an amazing group. It's going to help me just as much as it helps everyone else. It's going to be awesome.
And all the posts will start tomorrow, and there'll be recipes and tips of the day and tiny assignments. So we look forward to seeing your comments and your likes and your reactions.